I don't know. Overall, I think this patch was kind of weak. I think they could have done a lot more. I feel like they were a little, whatchamacall, a little timid over here. Let me, oh, there we go. Pull this up. Okay, so, yeah, I think the ETC buffs do basically nothing. I think they could have been a lot, but I think they should have buffed his actual trait, not just his trait on his ulti. This is only gonna really affect stage dive because you don't normally weren't dying while you were moshing. But this will be nice for stage diving because a lot of times when you used to stage dive in, everyone just throw their abilities where the stage dive was, and you just get one shot. So that's kind of nice. Then everything else is pretty much irrelevant, like across the board. None of this stuff is good. Like the W4 is always better. The level 1, the block or globes is always better. The 7 doesn't really matter at all, but usually the W is better. And then mana and slow doesn't matter at all, so pretty irrelevant buffs. Don't think he's gonna don't think he's gonna be too much different. Taking stage dive will just feel slightly worse. That's like the only main thing. So, and then Gazlo, they nerfed Gazlo because he was pretty OP in low ranks. He was one of my top recommended heroes for low ranks. So it makes sense. I always told people if you want to climb, play some Gazlo. So he wasn't really played in GM, but I do think he was a tiny bit underrated. But now that he lost 150 HP and some other stuff, he's going to be a bit worse. Not much to see here. And then Thrall buff, this is pretty nice. This is pretty nice right here. Mana cost on his baseline W by 20, that's pretty big. That's 33%. And then they buffed the blue at level 1, which is pretty nice. This sounds pretty good. I normally go green, but blue is also good. I take it sometimes. And then the block, they buffed a little bit of the block. Actually, let's look at Thrall. So they buffed his last patch as well, where read what it does entirely. So you get 4 stacks of trait now. Wait. 4 and 2, what is this? New patch? Yeah, new patch. Just came out today. Exclamation point patch if you want to read the notes. We're going over them right now. Stacks are consumed on the next cast. Oh, okay, you get two stacks of block. Now it's a 75 armor block instead of 50 armor block. And you get 4 trait procs, which is almost a full heal. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty good. I think the quest is usually really OP. But if you're against like certain matchups or like very auto attack heavy comps, this could be really strong. Oh, I need to disable that raid command. I'll do it after this. So yeah, pretty nice buff there. And then they also changed the functionality of the 13. This was a meta talent. Everyone went this talent pretty much all the time. Let's see what they, okay. So did the heal get changed at all? That's the question. Because now you heal even more if you're lower HP, but do you heal less if you're high HP than you used to before? They didn't tell us all that, unfortunately. They did not tell us all that, which is kind of tragic, but we'll have to test it out later on. I'd do it in try mode right now, but I've been in queue for 15 minutes. So yeah, I ain't risking my queue. Unlucky. Maybe later. And they also buffed the spell shield, which is spell shield is pretty decent, but it's just the armor duration. Get a little bit longer duration uptime on the thing, and then they added a new 20. Actually pretty decent talent, especially for earthquake. Because Earthquake CD is probably the worst thing about Earthquake. So this is probably going to be... I mean, the shield on Earthquake's pretty OP as well, but... If you feel like your Earthquakes are getting disengaged a lot, this could be good. Personally, I'm probably going to still take Bolt every game. But I also, like, never play Earthquake, so... I'm a Sunder main. So I'll probably still be taking Bolt every game. Most likely. Okay, Zarya. They hooked it up with some Zarya buffs. Let's see. But yeah, overall this patch pretty weak, I would say. Overall, not much happened. Okay, so... Oh, you know what? We should open Hero's profile to see the current talents. See what they used to do. Okay, so they removed Hit Me and To the Limit. What did Hit Me and To the Limit do? That's what we're gonna check. Damage contributed by... Okay, well this one was garbage. No one wants this. To the Limit. Okay, so they combined To the Limit with Feel the Heat. So that's pretty nice, but I don't think it's ever gonna really be viable. I think the only time is when you have like double healer plus Zarya, and your Zarya can just sit still and be a hyper carry. That's very rare. So I don't think auto build is gonna be good either way. Let's see, they buffed I am the strongest though. This one wasn't really picked that much. I don't think it's gonna be better than block or movement speed. Maybe if they have like a ton of damage and you're really scared of getting bursted. I don't know. Block or speed is normally really OP. ETC crowd server lowered CVD before? Yeah, it's only when you don't hit anything though. So and you get your mana cost back. It's only when you don't hit. You have to hit nothing and you get the cooldown. But if you're not taking W at 4 on ETC, I will report you for griefing. Let it be known. Oh, a new level 7 talent. That's big. Exit attacks. Okay, well this is pretty bad too. I don't know. I don't think any of the new talents would be good on Zarya. I feel like you just take the same old build, you know? You just take, Together We're Strong, or Q, or Maximum Charge, one of those three. Personally, I like Together We're Strong a lot. And then, I think one of these two is OP. Speed Barrier, Defensive Shielding. I think the Q at 7 is OP. I think Expulsion is still going to be better, even though they buff Graviton. Yeah, I don't think Zarya build changes, so I think this is also relevant. So just like the ETC changes, I think Zarya is pretty irrelevant. On these also look irrelevant, but let's take a look. Additional functionality Bio Grenade deals 30% damage per hero hit. Okay, let's look. What did it do before? I think it gave you a bigger heal, right? Oh wait, wrong thingy. Okay, contact healing increases damage and healing by 30% per hero hit. Oh, it already had more damage on it. But now, wait. Must have gone. No, they already buffed it. They already changed the tooltip. These guys are too fast. Okay, well before it just healed more, I'm pretty sure. But the grenade does no damage anyway, so I don't think it's gonna be that relevant. Even if you hit 5 people, you get 150 bonus damage on your W. Who cares? This thing does 60 damage baseline. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. I mean, that talent's still decent sometimes though for the burst seal, especially because they nerfed the sleep one. Level 4 biotic enhance. Okay, and also never take this level 1 or you're griefing reportable. Never take the trait. Level 4 W got buffed. Cooldown reduction by 1 extra second. Wow. From 2 to 3. It's huge. Now, instead of being 14 seconds, it's 13 seconds. What? Very, very relevant buffs. Thank you, Blizzard. Super, really good work you guys are doing here. Yeah, that's irrelevant. More irrelevant stuff. 16. Active reload still exists, so never take anything else. Okay, done. Okay, down to Brightwing. So they nerfed Brightwing's HP by 25, which is pretty nice, right? But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that confuses me. They buffed her cleanse. They buffed the cleanse by 15 seconds. They're supposed to be nerfing Brightwing, and they buffed her, bro. And they buffed her. What are they doing? What are they doing? Wasn't there a CD reduction on a dart? Yeah, if you miss the level 4 talent, you get 8 seconds back. Also irrelevant, but it's good if you're Pepega aim, I guess. And if you're taking this talent. Usually I take the sleep, but this one's decent. It's not bad. And if you, it's kind of easy to miss, so I guess tiny bit of relevance, you know, maybe your win rate will go up by 0.048%. Irrelevant. Okay, keep going. Somehow they buffed Brightwing, which pisses me off, because the cleanse build was already busted. So, I'm pissed. But maybe she'll be a little bit easier to kill now. You know, who knows? You know, a little bit easier to kill. Lily, Q comes out faster, E comes out faster, cleanse range. This is pretty nice buffs, actually. It's pretty nice buff. I actually think Lily is not bad, especially in lower ranks. So, it'll feel better when you get a random Lily picker on your team. So, I mean, they never go cleanse anyways. But assuming that they have a brain, it could be big. It could be big. Okay, moving on. Finally, they buffed the Sukkot level 1. Or sorry, nerfed the Sukkot level 1. But I don't know if it's a big enough nerf. We'll see. I mean, 15-second cooldown, end the range by 20%. I think it's pretty nice. And then they buffed the low blow and compensation. And Fetid Touch got a little bit of adjustment because the auto does less, but the slow is more. Yeah, we'll see. I'm happy they nerfed this. His talent was probably the most busted talent in the game that like wasn't an ult. That's pretty nice. I don't think some people might take like the E build with low blow and it hungers. It's a decent build if they have like heroes that you can get resets on. If they don't have that many interrupts, it's not bad. I've seen some people taking it. I still think that the classic build will be the best. We just go reactive with all the trait talents. Like targeted excision 7, root at 13, or popping pulses 13. I still think that'll be the better build, but some nice adjustments over here. Also, they buffed Super Strain, which also kind of bothers me because I feel like Super Strain was already busted. I don't feel like they had to buff that one. But I mean, most people are taking the trait anyways, so you can do the double heal with the level 1 talent. So probably most people will still be taking that. The Super Strain was really annoying when you were playing stuff like Hanzo or like any Sunchain, Hanzo, Diablo, and you were just healing the enemy team with your stuns. That was pretty annoying. It's gonna be even more annoying, but whatever. Okay, now we're to the juicy right here, the juicy buff right here, the Maiev buff. Double trade at 20, which is pretty big, and containment disc silences now. This is really busted actually. I think containment was already way better than cage. I took containment 100% of the time. So that's big. Also, the 7 talent buff is actually pretty nice as well. Because 15 art reduction, 25% slow. This is pretty nice when you're pulling people and they walk into you and you can't pull them, right? But if they're slowed and they're running towards you, it's easier to pull them, which is pretty nice. And there'll be armor reduction as well. So I'm going to try this one out and see. But the containment thing is really, really huge actually. Because containment is only 40-second cooldown. And it already removed their vision and took them out of the fight. And now they're silenced after 2. You can use this for getting picks. Just throw it on the healer. You probably win the fight. It's like a better cocoon. I mean, you have to aim it, but it's pretty fat, so. And then the 16, this was not really that relevant. I don't think it's ever going to be better than the Q. So, still take Q every game on 16, I would say. Giant Killer OP. But yeah, I'm going to definitely try her out today. My plan is to try out Maev and Kael'thas. I don't know if I'm gonna try out anything else because it all seems irrelevant or not that important. Maybe some Thrall. Maybe some Thrall. Okay, Kael'thas. This is pretty big. 75 HP is pretty big. That's like a 5% HP buff, which is pretty nice because Kael'thas did feel a bit squishy. And this will also make his mana barrier bigger because that goes off of his HP. So, oh no, it doesn't. Never mind, I trolled. It goes off his maximum mana. Okay, well, delete that. Strike that from the record. It's still gonna be nice though. You'll feel a bit tankier. Your sun cooldown lower baseline. And then they nerfed the blue E slightly to compensate because otherwise it'd be way too insane. It'd be 3 seconds. Now it's 4, just like it was before. Oh no, it was 5 before. So still a buff to the blue one. But I think the green one's just so good. The range is so OP. So I'm probably not going to switch up my build. I'll probably try out some Phoenix though, because the Phoenix buff. I want to try some KT today for sure. Definitely seems a bit better. I don't know if he's going to be like super good, but he'll definitely be more viable. So that's nice. And then KTZ, probably still F tier. I don't think a little bit of HP is enough. I think what they really need to give to KTZ is make the E range a little bit longer. If you just make his E like 1 inch longer, like 2 pixels, whatever you want, whatever nomenclature you want to go for, I think he'd be a lot better. I think that's all he needs. The HP is nice, but probably still F tier. D tier at best. Nazebo nerfs, those are pretty big. Those are pretty big. Nazebo nerfs, they reduce the slow by 5%, the duration by half a second, and the damage by 5%, and the blood ritual, which was, this time was really busted. I was taking this every game because it was so much easier to finish Vile because of this. So I'm really sad they nerfed this. And the CDR on the, they have the CDR on the 16, so I think Zebo will still be decent though. I think I'm probably gonna move him down to B tier based on this, because overall I think he's still gonna be good, but he's not gonna be like pick him a lot type of good. We'll see though. We'll see how it actually feels. Oh, we got a game. Nice. We're almost at the end. So, okay. What else? Oh, and they also buffed the E build a bit, which I don't think is that relevant. I think E build still sucks if you ask me. I think Q build is still the way to go. Either go Q build or don't pick him. Don't pick him. Vala nerf. This is nice. Vala was still a bit too overtuned. Nerf the baseline W, and they nerf the Q by 1 per stack. So you get 10 stacks, it's 10 damage. You get 100 stacks, 100 damage. You'll feel it a little bit, but she's still good. She's still strong. And they buff auto build a little tiny bit, which is, it was already like pretty decent. So you'll probably see more auto Valas. Overall, I think she's still good though. Definitely need a nerf though. And then a little bit of Zag buff. They kind of over nerfed her because she was really busted. They like over nerfed her, so maybe we'll see a bit more Zag. But yeah, overall, pretty meh patch. I don't know. Main things to take away from are Maev stronger, Kael'thas a bit more viable, and Stukov a little worse. I think everything else is Thrall a little bit better. Everything else I think is irrelevant. So they, oh, and Nazebo's worse. Nazebo, that's pretty big actually, because Nazebo is getting picked a lot. But there you go. There's a patch review. It's big. We upload that to YouTube. Some big content.